All right, what's up guys? We're gonna be cooking up my post-workout meal. So you guys know I'm bulking, right? Current macros are 55 fat, 405 carbs, and 230 grams of protein. There's 3 basic macronutrients, right? Protein, fat, and carbs. Protein is 4 calories per gram. Carbs are also 4 calories per gram, and fat is 9 calories per gram. I aim to eat, about 20 to 30 pounds over my body weight in protein. Protein is the building blocks of muscle. Carbs fuel training performance. If you are a bodybuilder, you will get your best physique possible from a high carb, high protein, lower fat diet. Carbs are everything when it comes to training performance. Carbs create muscle glycogen, which is carbs plus water. That's what fills your muscles up, makes them look nice and full, gives you those good pumps, give you good energy to move more weight in the gym. Fats are good for energy, right? Regulating our hormones. Typically, we just put the absolute minimum of them in our diet. After that, we fill those with, healthy calories of healthy micronutrient dense fats. After that, you really want to fill the rest of your calories with carbs if you're a bodybuilder. So let's take you with me for one of my go-to post-workout meals, ground beef and sweet potatoes, right? Get tons of protein, a little bit of fats and carbs from the sweet potatoes. So first things first, gonna be whipping out the stainless steel pan. Can't be cooking on Teflon if you want to boost your test. Pans have been shown to get in your food when you cook on them. So definitely use stainless steel or cast iron or ceramic, guys. Giving the pan a quick spray, right? Avocado oil spray. Got to stay seed oil free, boys. And then let's throw the ground beef on the pan. So I weigh all my meats raw when I track them, right? So I'm gonna cook the entire pound of ground beef right here, which is 16 ounces. I have 8 ounces of raw meat in my diet. So what am I gonna do, right? I know this is 16 ounces, so I don't even have to weigh it. I'm gonna put 16 ounces on the pan, and what I'm gonna do is I'll weigh the cooked ground beef after and divide the cooked weight in 2, and I know that's 8 ounces of raw meat. If you guys did not know, meat cooks down to completely different weights every time you cook it. If I cook chicken breast in the air fryer, it can cook down from 300 grams all the way to like 210. It cooks down differently different times depending on how you cook it. And so for the most accurately possible, calories and weighed macros, you want to weigh your meat raw. Also, side note guys, look how much darker this grass-fed ground beef is than normal ground beef, right? It's just full of micronutrients. So grass-fed ground beef is gonna be full of, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, and tons of iron, zinc, selenium. And the most important thing that's in here is omega-3s. Grass-fed ground beef has so much more healthy omega-3s than corn and soy-fed beef. All right, let me get this going. Chop it up, wooden utensils. We don't want any microplastics in the ground beef. I'm just gonna get it going here for you guys. And then we will cook up these sweet potatoes while this goes. I'm not tracking salt right now since I am bulking in prep. I do track sodium. But honestly guys, really any sugar-free, seed oil-free seasoning is fine. Anything that doesn't cause digestive issues. Sometimes these sugar-free sauces and seasonings will cause digestive issues, but if it doesn't, typically the name of the game is you are good to go. But next thing, we need to whip up our carbs, right? We just worked out, had a super intense training session. Right after an intense training session, we've got to refuel our muscles with carbohydrates, replacing all the glycogen that we just burned, and start the recovery process, start muscle protein synthesis, and fill our body back up with the carbs. Get nice and recovered. So we are going to cook up 300 grams of sweet potatoes, weighed raw of course, because they will lose a ton of weight in the air fryer here. So I'm gonna weigh them raw. Potatoes are very, very dense in tons of micronutrients. Vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. And they're honestly one of the most filling carb sources out there. So You know, obviously, if you guys have big appetite, something like rice that doesn't really have fiber, doesn't digest or digests very, very fast and very, very easy, you know, might not be the best option for you. So if you're someone like me and you have a really large appetite, slower digesting things with more fiber, you know, that have less calories per gram, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, might just be your best option. 100 grams sweet potatoes going in the air fryer basket. I'm gonna give it a quick spray since we are bulking right now and we can afford, you know, the negligible little fat calories real quick. That'll help the salt stick. Where is my pink Himalayan? Definitely invest in a high quality salt, guys. So lots of salts, like normal white, you know, cheap table salt is filled with a lot of heavy metals. So I definitely recommend a nice pink Himalayan sea salt. Oh. Cool, so those will get nice and crispy with the ground beef, and then I will go ahead and take out half of it, right, which would be 8 ounces, and then the half that's in there will be used for later for another meal, another 8 ounces, and then the half right now that I pull out, I will eat with the sweet potatoes. While I wait for the sweet potatoes to cook, I'm gonna go over every single supplement I am currently taking in the mornings. So I organize all my supplements into a pill box, make them super easy to take, right? When you have to get something done, you wanna make it easy to do. You wanna make good habits easy and bad habits hard, right? So I need to take my supplements every morning, right? It would be a lot harder and a lot more time consuming if I pulled them individually out of the bottle every single morning. But when I have them ready to go right here in a pill box, it just makes that daily habit so much easier. So currently, every single morning, I am taking a multivitamin, right? Make sure all my micronutrients are covered for the day. Taking Tonkat LE and Fidogia agrestis, which are natural test boosters that have been proven in studies to slightly elevate, you know, natural testosterone levels in men. It's just something I like to spend my money on because it does work. It should be cycled on and off, though. I do 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off. I take a high quality omega-3. This one is from salmon oils. It does not go rancid like some fish oils do. I also take Shilajit to cover more of my essential minerals and micronutrients every single morning. Like I said, I have a very micronutrient dense diet that covers a lot of my micronutrients through my healthy fats. I get healthy fats from organic, corn-free, soy-free, pasture-raised eggs, lots of omega-3s from grass-fed ground beef, tons of micronutrients from my sweet potatoes, my fruits, my frozen berries, and yeah, pretty much everything's covered. That is my morning supplements. We will go through my nighttime routine and all the supplements I take to sleep max and get that best quality sleep later. So what I'm gonna do is weigh out the entire pound of cooked grass-fed ground beef, take half of it for the meal right now, right? And then that will be tracked as 8 ounces raw, because this is 16 ounces raw. Let's actually see how much it cooks down to for you guys. That was 16 ounces of grass-fed ground beef. Now it is 12.37. So as you guys can see, it is very, very important to weigh your meat raw. So we're gonna take out about 6.15 ounces right now for this current meal, and then that will be tracked as 8 ounces raw. And now we have a serving of ground beef for later. All right, boys, we got the crispy sweet potatoes out of the air fryer, right on top of the ground beef here. Absolute clean micronutrient dense carbs with the sweet potatoes. But remember when I told you guys, this is why we weigh things raw. Raw weighed, those sweet potatoes were 300 grams. So I tracked them as 300 grams of raw sweet potatoes. Look what they cooked down to, 160. Imagine somebody tracking that as 160 grams of sweet potatoes, when in reality, that was 300. So you guys have to track things when you're calorie tracking or you're planning out a meal plan. You have to specify if the food is raw weight or cooked weight. And the cooked weight is never going to be accurate. I know like on MyFitnessPal, they have like cooked chicken breast, right? And it's a generalized, you know, subtraction from cooked down. But depending on how you cook things, whether it's air fryer, pan, oven, the cooked weight is going to change. The most accurate way will always be weighing foods raw before they're cooked. So we've got the nice meal. We're gonna get some fire, low calorie sauce from Flavor Gang. Code Gabe. This is the go-to. Sriracha maple, 0 calories a serving. In reality, if you guys didn't know, it's like 5 calories a serving for most sugar-free stuff, even like diet sodas. It's about 5 calories a serving. Obviously in the off season, I don't need to weigh it. If I was in prep, I would. So we'll go a little bit of that. Absolutely delicious, but don't be afraid to use low calorie sauces, seasonings to allow you guys to stick to your diet, right? As long as they don't bother your GI health and you use them in moderation, you're gonna be just fine. So many people fearmonger artificial sweeteners, sugar-free items, but it's absolutely delicious. I'll give you guys a taste test right now, and then we'll go on a little digestion walk. So easy. Grass-fed ground beef, sweet potatoes, great post-workout meal. So I typically go on digestion walks post-meal when I can, right? This is gonna give me optimal digestion. A 10-minute walk post-meal has been shown to get your digestive system going, increase nutrient uptake, increase insulin sensitivity, increase the carbs from the sweet potatoes to go throughout my body and restore the glycogen in my muscles. So it's actually very, very good for you to go on a little 10-minute digestion walk post-meal. Helps clear your head, helps get some vitamin D out, right? It's sunny right now. And when I can, I always try to do that. Get me nice, good digestion, a healthy GI. Good digestion builds muscle. So while we're on this digestion walk, I want to talk about the things needed to get extremely lean. If you want to be a bodybuilder, if you want to step on stage with elite level conditioning and honestly a, extreme level of conditioning that's taking it to the extreme level, right? You have to be mentally prepared and you need to have a strong why. My personal why for bodybuilding is I love training. I love going to the gym. It's truly one of the most fun things for me. No matter how fun of a vacation I could be on, I could be doing something fun like snowboarding. I'm always thinking about my next session in the gym. I'm always thinking about what I'm gonna hit tomorrow, and I truly love training. I truly love pushing myself in the gym. It is one of the funnest hobbies and things I could do. And that is my why for bodybuilding. I just love training and in the gym. I love being competitive and pushing myself to the limits, right? Bodybuilding has changed who I am. It has increased my discipline, has made me such a better, hard worker, a better man. It has strengthened my relationship with God. And so, I truly love the sport of bodybuilding and I love lifting so much. That is my why. And that is what keeps me going in the depths of prep, when energy's low, when I have to do cardio when I don't want to, when I have to go to bed hungry for months on end. That end goal of stepping on stage one day is the most fulfilling thing in the world when that day finally comes. When you work for something for weeks on end and weeks on end and weeks on end, and that day comes, it is the best, most funnest, most rewarding day to exist. Like, I remember when I stepped on stage for my first show and I was backstage, I was like, I love this sport. This is way more fun than I thought it was gonna be, because when that day finally comes and you've been working towards it for weeks and weeks and weeks, it is so fulfilling. There is nothing more fulfilling. So I absolutely love the sport, but in order to be able to push yourself when times get hard, when you have to do cardio when you don't want to, you gotta hop on that Stairmaster and it's the last thing you wanna do. You gotta hit legs 4 weeks out when you're on 1,700 calories, right? And you have no energy. You have to be able to pull from your mind. There's always more to give, and you have to rely on your mind to get you through those cardio sessions, through those training sessions. Otherwise, you won't be successful. And in order to pull from your mind, in order to have that willpower and use your mind, which is your greatest weapon, you have to have a strong why. So before you think about signing up for a bodybuilding show, think about what your why is. Why do you want to compete? It has to be a serious why. If it's just you want to do it for the photos, you want to do it for social media, that's not something that's going to get you through when times get hard. You have to have a love for the sport. You have to have a why. You have to have something that inspired you to compete. Same thing with getting stage lean. Even if you don't want to compete or step on stage, dieting is hard. Going to bed hungry is hard, right? Locking in on every single thing you put into your body is hard. And if you don't have a why, you won't be successful. This is about 9:30 p.m. I'm getting ready to go to bed here. But I wanted to show you guys my entire nighttime routine to sleep max and get the best sleep possible. So I just showered, nice hot warm shower to calm me down. I don't have any caffeine past like 12 p.m. And then first thing that goes on is the red light glasses. Whenever the sun goes down, block out any blue light to disrupt my circadian rhythm. Next thing I implement is a nasal dilator. It's the same thing as a nose strip, but what happened is the nose strips were taking the skin off my nose every single morning when I'd peel them off. So I got this nasal dilator. It looks kind of weird, but it just does the same thing as a nose strip, but it goes inside your nose like this. Like I said, it looks dumb, but it's worth it for the best sleep possible, and I just put it in at night. And then the last thing I do before I go to bed is mouth tape, right? We want to be breathing through our nose while we sleep. It's so much better for your mouth, your jawline, while you sleep, your sleep quality, right? Deep breaths through your nose. So I ensure that I can get nice deep breaths through my nose through the nasal dilator, and then I also mouth tape. And then I also have a sleep mask because light is like the number one, light and sound are the number one things that are gonna wake you up when you are sleeping. But now let's go take my nighttime sleep sups and then honestly turn the lights off, hop in bed and knock out. I've already put my phone away for the night. My phone sleeps in my bathroom. I leave it charging in there, completely away from my room. Allows me to fall asleep so much faster, and if you guys want better sleep, don't sleep with your phone in your room. All right, guys, so my current sleep stack is a sleep aid from Sprouts. I've experimented with a ton of different ones, and I change them all the time. They're typically always gonna be like a melatonin-based one with some other calming things like L-theanine, valerian root, chamoil flower, a bunch of stuff like that. So I got one of these. I usually run the pills, but I've got the drops just because sublingual drops are always going to be a bit more bioavailable than pills that have to get broken down in your stomach. So we've got these, and then I always take glycine. So I had some glycine powder, but I recently picked up some glycine pills. I take 3 of these a night, so 3 grams, along with this melatonin-based sleep aid, and then magnesium glycinate. I've run more for sleep in the past, especially when I'm in prep and I'm cutting and it's hard to sleep, but right now glycine is key. And then you have just a sleep aid, melatonin based one with other calming extracts. I really like to get ones that have GABA in them. It's an ingredient that just kind of helps turn your brain off before bed. This one doesn't have GABA, so probably won't buy this one again, but I typically recommend any Sprouts. I really like the Sprouts Relax All Sleep Aid. I also like the Echo Vision Echo Z's. They have ashwagandha in them as well. Those are super good as well. Gorilla Dream is a good one as well. Like I said, there's tons of stacked sleep aids. Just look for one that has a little bit of melatonin, some GABA, and some calming extracts as well. But it definitely doesn't, I definitely need to switch back to pills because these drops taste nasty, but whatever. Sleep sups down the hatch. Oh, let me get my magnesium glycinate. But yeah, it's 9:43. I'm about to knock out, and I will be up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So about to get 8.5 hours of high quality sleep. And yeah, that is how you grow. Sleep is the key to growth, right? If you really want to take bodybuilding to the next level, natty or not, you've got to prioritize sleep. You've got to sleep max every single night. That's when we grow. That's when we get huge. So prioritize your sleep. If you wake up early, go to bed early, and just honestly block out at least 8.5 hours of time for your bedtime every single night. Most days I sleep anywhere from 8 to 9 hours, honestly. Some days, man, I've slept like 9.5 hours, plenty of nights as well. But I'm typically anywhere between an 8 to 9 hour sleeper on a normal night. But as you guys can see, I keep a normal circadian rhythm, so my body knows it's time for bed already. So I'm pretty tired. And let's go upstairs and knock out. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you guys found some value and enjoyed. If you guys have any questions from things I do, just DM me on Instagram. I will personally always respond, and I'll be able to help you out. So if you guys do want to work with me, become a peak natural bodybuilder and discover what you can achieve naturally, competitor or not, looking to get on stage, looking to just get shredded, go ahead and click the first link down below and book a call with me. I'm going to bed now. We'll see how we slept tomorrow morning on the Whoop. Peace.